Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to my channel. I am Coach Sherry. So, listen, do not let your age get in your way. There are so many people that are seasoned that are of a certain age, and they are always concerned about re-entering the workforce or pivoting within their career into maybe another organization, another company, or even to start their own business. They always feel like maybe the ship has sailed and it's too late. It is never too late. Age is just a number that you're given because of the years you were born or the years that you have been alive. You had your start date started a little bit earlier than most, but we are all in this dash together and it's about all hands on deck. So if you are a seasoned individual, which I believe that I am, I'll be 55 this year. I am 54 years young. And trust, 50s and 60s do not look, act, respond the way that 50s and 60s, 70s and 80s responded back in the day. I remember great aunts when I was much younger. And when I think back, they were only like 55 and 60 at that time, and they looked so old. Remember how people used to carry themselves, the men and the women, when they were in their 50s and 60s? They were so old in their ways, and there wasn't a lot of change happening. I mean, yes, we had the color TV, call waiting, answer machines, things like that. But now things are changing rapidly, and we are keeping up. We have our cell phones. We know how to use those devices, technology. We have social media platforms that we are actively on. So things are not passing us by. We are still very relevant. And I don't like when people say, oh, 50 is the new 30 or the new 40. No, 50 is the new 50. That's what it is. 60 is the new 60. So claim it, own it, and embrace it, Trust and believe. There are so many young people out here that wish they had your experience and your skill set. And the interesting thing is, when I was younger, when I was in my 20s and 30s, I was never looking at older people that were my seniors. I never looked at them like, wow, I wish I knew more like them. No, I knew what I was bringing to the table and I knew what they were bringing to the table, and let's do this together. And when I was younger, my friends were always much more older, more mature in age than I was. And it probably because of our financial standing. But that never intimidated me. I never felt lesser than when I was around them because I stood on what I knew and what I was doing. And the thing is, especially for women that are trying to get back into the workforce or who are in the workforce and they've been stuck, they feel like they're stuck and they want to pivot, but they just don't feel like they're getting that opportunity. You have to seize the moment. And what opportunities are you really trying to achieve? And who's keeping you from it? And now you have to look at yourself. Why are they keeping you from it? Do you have to upskill or reskill yourself? I remember years ago when I was just like 26, 27 years old, about 26 years old, and when we were first going to the New Orleans Saints. And I have so much respect for general managers of any type of team. I really do, because they're the ones responsible for bringing the right people together so that they can win. But I remember that year when we went to New Orleans, and listen, I don't know if this is still how it's rocking, but when you were a free agent back in the day, oh my goodness, the red carpet was laid out. The head coach and the general manager picked us up from the airport, and they made sure that we both had activities for that entire time that we were there. We did things together, but then when they was just with my husband, they had people in place to take me around and do different things. So it was a very, fulfilling and enriching experience to make us fall in love enough with the team to say yes. But I remember we were at an event one evening and the general manager was talking with me. And by then, he and I had developed understanding, a friendship of sorts. Again, they picked us up from the airport, so I had been in communication and in his presence quite a few times. And so at this event, I remember him asking me, "So, Sherry, what do you do?" And I was like, Huh. That's an interesting question. You're about to write my husband just for signing a seven-figure check, and you're asking me, what do I do? That's an interesting question. But you know what? I was able to tell him what I did, that I had my own business and what type of business it was, and how I impacted young people's lives with my business. And he was very impressed. But at that moment, at the age of 26, I realized no matter what, no matter how much, I am always going to have my own. I don't care that, I don't have to do. I will always do what I need to do to keep myself relevant and to impact the world on my own. And I am so happy to have had the type of mother that I had, that always impressed that upon me. Although my parents had their own business and they worked side by side for 40 years, my mother always had her own thing outside of the business. Now, it wasn't necessarily a business. Now, when I was growing up, young, my mother did do hair. She was also a licensed beautician. So on Saturdays, I remember dear friends and their daughters would come over and my mother would, quote unquote, fix their hair. Remember, that's the term that it was called, getting my hair fixed. And so that's something that she did on the side. However, my mother was always a integral part of the community, belonging to organizations like National Business Women's Association, being involved in the church, in the industry that my parents' business was in. My parents always held positions on the board. So my mother showed me the importance of standing on your own. Even though you are a wife and a mother and a business partner, you still have to stand on your own. And I learned that and I stood on that for all my years, 29 years of being married, always doing my own thing. Sometimes, of course, my husband and I have businesses together. However, on the side, I always was doing my own thing. And people are so interesting when they say, well, why are you doing this? Because I can and because I need to, and as well as you. So even if you are a stay-at-home mom, listen, I was considered a stay-at-home mom, although I still ran businesses. I remember thinking how ironic it was that I was considered to be a stay-at-home mom, yet I was the director of marketing and sales and part of the CFO team for our real estate development, a multi-million dollar development. And I was bringing in investors that were investing millions of dollars. However, I was considered a stay-at-home mom. And I remember when I would put my suits on and I'm like, I don't know too many stay-at-home moms doing this right now. But it gave me skills and those experiences that have continued to propel me. So if you are a stay-at-home mom, or if you are at a point of your career where you're trying to pivot and trying to figure out the what's next, think about all of the experiences that you've had, some that were not paid, that also provided you with those transferable skills, and see what is out there that's aligned with them. What did you enjoy most? A lot of times people look at things that they enjoy, and because it may not be a large variety of opportunities, it may only be one or two opportunities that presents itself in that arena. They say, well, I have to figure something else out. No, you have to be most intentional when there's only a few of those opportunities. Listen, what I do, I'm like the only one that's doing it. So for what I do, there's other people, but at my level it's just one position. And so sometimes if it's that one position, why can't that one person be you? And the more seasoned you are, the better your chance in real life. But you have to understand the value of your season, the value of your experience and your knowledge and what you are really bringing. And don't bring that antiquated approach. Don't use your age as a crutch. And because you may not have gotten something, you're going to blame it on your age, because that is not the case. Listen, employers know it is all hands on deck. Clients know it's all hands on deck. And if you are in the service of being a consultant, clients oftentimes love it and prefer it if you've had experience. So don't ever think that your age has anything to do with your lack or your lack of opportunity, because it's you. And so you have to get out of your own way so that you can let those experiences and opportunities flood your gates. You will be so surprised at how much more will be attracted to you when you stop downplaying yourself because of your age or your location. Things are so transient right now. You can live literally anywhere and do anything and be successful. You just have to know what is. What is it for you? Not for the person next to you, not for the person behind or in front of you, but what is it for you? And do not use your age as a challenge or as an obstacle or as an excuse. People are working now almost forever, and it's not necessarily because they have to, but in some cases it is. Things are getting more expensive, and even if you do have that nest egg, sometimes it may not have been enough because of the way that things have been inflated. However, a lot of times people still work in some capacity because it gives them purpose, gives them a reason to get out the house and do something, to interact with other people on purpose every day without trying to seek out people to do things with, and to keep their mind going. As long as your mind is growing and going, you still have value. You will still continue to serve and be of use. And that's what this is all about. It's about how you can be impactful to the last. And so it's not about giving up. Yes, who wouldn't want to just lay around on the beach all day and listen to the water and go in the water periodically? But at the same time, how is that growing your mind? How are you collaborating? How are you interacting with others? And at the same point, when you do that, why not make a few dollars in the meantime and, get paid your worth? And do you know your worth? You're so valuable. All right. So again, do not use your age as an excuse. There's no room for excuses. They're just the tools of the weak and incompetent, and those who use them are seldom capable of anything else. And I know you are very capable of so much more. So go out there today, conquer. Write down what it is that you envision yourself doing. You've had a plethora of experiences, and at this point, you can select the one that most resonated with you, the thing that you most enjoyed, and find out what type of opportunities are out there doing just that. All right, everyone, that's all I have for you right now, but join me later on this evening for a live. Not sure what time, may not even be the evening, might be the afternoon, I don't even know, but I am going live every day for the next couple of months. I'm at day 15 today of 90 days. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not doing 90, I'm doing 60 days. I'm at day 15 of 60 days, so join me live, and I will see you later. Thanks again, and it's been my pleasure. I am Coach Sherry.